Yeah, I said it. The Avenging Bean Counter has a better Primarch fight record than Lehman Russ. Now let me explain the 4 fights Lehman Russ was in versus the 5 fights Guilliman has been in. The Wolf King's first Primarch fight was against the Angry Angron, where the Space Wolves were sent to essentially tell the World Eaters to chill out because they kept causing way too much collateral damage, and even though the Space Wolves had superior tactics, it ended up with a duel between Angron and Lehman Russ, where Lehman Russ got his butt kicked by Angron. And he refused to admit it, being like, no, I won. I just decided to retreat because I didn't want to kill my brother. But in the actual fight, he just got absolutely bodied by Angron. This was obviously during the Great Crusade. Lehman Russ's next fight would be against Magnus the Wed. And I know what you're thinking. Technically, Lehman Russ won the fight. But first of all, there were dozens of Sisters of Silence, if not hundreds, surrounding the fight, which was weakening Magnus's power. So Magnus went into this fight at like 60% power. That doesn't sound very fair. And on top of that, Lehman Russ had special crafted armor that would dampen psychic attacks, and would also had materials that would help weaken Magnus further. So Magnus was fighting at like half strength, and even his half attacks would only do like half damage to Lehman because he was in anti-psychic armor. So it'd be like saying, oh, well, Lex Luthor is actually stronger than Superman because he beat Superman up. Ignore the fact he was in a suit of kryptonite at the time. So yeah, although he did technically win the fight, it was a hard fight that he still almost lost. Not to mention, again, he almost lost the fight because Magnus the Wed stopped one of Lehman Russ's hoits and used many spells to damage him. And this was with Magnus at half strength and with Lehman having special gear to deal with cycles. So, yeah, he did win, but it'd be like beating Mike Tyson in a fight because you bought a gun. Now let's look at Lehman Russ's third Primarch fight against Horus, where he got absolutely bodied by the War Master and had to run away with his tail between his legs. And his fourth and final fight was against the Lion of the Space Wolves. Now, these guys weren't trying to kill each other, but it wasn't a pretty fight. It was a pretty rough fight, where the Lion impaled Lehman and absolutely bodied Lehman Russ. Now, again, these two weren't trying to kill each other. Most of the reason this fight happened was the two were just trying to blow off steam because they were so angry they weren't there to kill Horus. They were both so angry and frustrated with themselves and each other that the Emperor was almost dead and that the War Master got so far. So, again, not trying to kill each other, but Lehman still took an L. So, Lehman Russ has been in 4 Primarch fights and has outright lost 3 of them and only won one of his fights because he was cheating and because he was fighting a massively weakened opponent. Now, Guilliman's first fight was against Lorgoy Aurelian, when he absolutely bodied Lorgoy, until Angron showed up and absolutely bodied Guilliman, and Guilliman had to run away. So, 2 fights for 1. Guilliman won the fight with Lorgoy, but then quickly lost the fight against Angron. And yes, technically, Guilliman was a teensy bit tired after his fight with Lorgoy, but he would have gotten his butt kicked by Angron either way. Now, Guilliman's second fight was after the Horus Heresy during the Great Scouring, where he fought Fulgrim of the Emperor's Children, in demon form, mind you, and got absolutely bodied and was forced into a coma. So yeah, that fight really didn't go too well either. Now, I am making this video with a very short amount of time, so I don't have time to do my full research as I normally do. So I forgot if the Avenging Bean Counter fought Magnus or Mortarion first. I'm just going to say it's Mortarion. And either way, Mr. Taxman got his butt kicked by Mortarion. Yeah, he got his absolute butt kicked by Mortarion. The Emperor had to revive him and empower Guilliman in order to win, but that's obviously cheap. And Guilliman's last fight against Magnus went kind of similar to Lehman's fight with Magnus, where he initially, except as opposed to Lehman's fight, where off the bat he had the sisters helping him, Guilliman fought Magnus in a fair fight and was getting his butt kicked. His custodian bodyguard almost died until the Sisters of Silence showed up, weakened him, and allowed Guilliman and the sisters to team up to then banish him. So, although both Primoics did technically defeat Magnus, both needed the help of the Sisters of Silence, so both of them did cheat. One thing to note here is that, again, I wouldn't say Guilliman won this fight because he was cheating. So, I mean, technically he did, because they did end up banishing him, but by that logic, Guilliman has won 2 fights, and Leman Russ has only won 1 fight, and Guilliman has won 2. But personally, I don't think Leman Russ has actually ever won a Primoic fight, and I don't think Guilliman has won a fight outside of Lorgoy. But this still leaves the Primoic fight score to Guilliman has fought 5 Primoics and won 1 fight, and technically 2 if you count the cheating with Magnus. Leman Russ, on the other hand, has won 0 fights, technically 1 if you count the cheating with Magnus. So yes, Mr. Taxman, the Avenging Bean Counter, is a better fighter than Leman Russ. Now this video is obviously kind of a joke. Obviously, if these 2 guys were to fight, Leman Russ would absolutely dog Guilliman. But I'm just saying Leman Russ's fight record doesn't look too good. And again, although Guilliman did technically win a Primoic fight, it was against Lorgoy, and that by itself is kind of cheating. It'd be like saying, I won a fight before, but it's literally your little brother. So yeah, I mostly made this video as kind of a joke thing, and also just to point out that Leman Russ's record doesn't look too hot. Neither does Guilliman. But at least Guilliman did win a fight, technically. This is a shorter video. It's the 4th of July week when I'm recording this, so I didn't have a whole lot of time. I put most of my effort into my previous video. This should be the first video I've released under my new YouTube name, Lisphammer. My old YouTube name used to be 40K Topics with Justin. And if you're only here for Lisphammer, welcome to the channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Check out my YouTube shorts. They're funny, have a lot of memes, and I'll catch you in the next one.